Hey YouTube, this is your host King Jill. Well, as per Ken Rosenthal, a few minutes ago, actually like 40 minutes ago, he said that things are heating up between Carlos Correa and the Minnesota Twins. That the possibility of him going back to the Twins are there. Well, it has been 19 days, and since the Mets and Scott Boras has said anything, so there could be a possibility that he could go back to Minnesota. But before I go any further, if you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so. Subscribe to my channel, hit that button, and hit the bell. I'll let you know when I upload a video. And hit the like button and share. So, Minnesota, okay, two scenarios I can see here. Minnesota will take him, but they won't give him the I don't think they'll give him the 285, 10 years. If he decides to go back, it's because it's going to be lower years, less money, but a higher AAV. So that's important to Correa. But I don't see, you have to understand, I don't see him leaving yet New York for the simple reason is that Carlos Correa is a diva. And when I'm saying a diva, this man is vain. As good of a player as he is, but you don't know Carlos Correa. If you're Puerto Rican and you lived around Carlos Correa and you've seen where Carlos Correa come from, he is a vain young man. He lies. He loves the spotlight. If you give it to him, he's not gonna get that in Minnesota. He won't. The only way he'll get that in Minnesota, that's if the Minnesota Twins wins the World Series. Whoever talks about Carlos Correa when he was with Houston, nobody, because there's not a big marketplace. When he was in Minnesota, no one talked about him unless you were in Minnesota and you broadcasted from Minnesota, right? And he got Braxton. He's a good center fielder, But in New York, he would get the spotlight. So when he hits a home run, he'll get in the newspaper. He'll get commercials. That's what he strives for. That's what he so desires. If you say to yourself, Lindor, but Lindor is a different type of player, a different type of person. He's not too much into the limelight as is Carlos Correa. But trust me, if given the opportunity, he is going to run to New York. But like they said, as you read it, as it said, the possibility of, and it's not just Ken Rosenthal. There's two other sources close to this deal that have said that the Twins have accelerated on their talks. And why not? Because the Twins are not going to give him they're not going to give him that physical. They probably talked to Scott Boras and said, we know about the injury, we've known about it. That for us, it doesn't faze us. They're a small market team. They want to compete, and for them, they can risk it as long as they win a World Series or two. They don't mind. And Minnesota, it's an okay team. It's not the best team in baseball. They're an okay team. From what I listen to when I see MLB Baseball and MLB Network, Jim Thome and other players talk good about the organization. It should be a good organization because remember, Kirby Puckett was there, and Kirby Puckett spent all his years in Minnesota, and that was a good player. May he rest in peace. I like Kirby Puckett, but the possibility of him going to Minnesota is there. Scott Boras plays his cards right because look at this. Scott Boras, they psyched the Giants into going, that Judge was going to go to the Giants. And that was only a ruse so that the Yankees can get him, right? And then maybe now this is a ruse too. So Minnesota, they didn't want to pay Minnesota money because 285 for 10 years. That's good money, man. If the team that just signed you for 3 years for $100 and some million dollars is going to offer you that, take it. But he doesn't want out. He wanted to test the waters. And could this be again, a plot for him to go back to Minnesota? This was the way Scott Boras thought it out. I don't think so. But I still believe, in my heart of heart, I still believe that he's going to be a Met. I mean, even like I said before, guys, even if he's not a Met, remember, we won 101 games without him. That doesn't mean that we're not going to produce the same way that we did last year. Because remember, last year, for the better first half of the year, we were the best team in baseball. We were scoring 5 runs a game. 5 runs a game. So can we do that? Can we do the same this year? We don't know. Every year is different in baseball. It's not like basketball, but every year is different in baseball. It depends the injuries. It depends how this player swing, how the ball, where the ball falls. I always say where the ball falls. But you could have a Beatty in a guard and Edgar at third base. You can do that combination. Like I said, I don't like Edgar at third base. I just I don't like him at all. Someone said earlier on, I think it was an MLB Network said that this is what Todd Zeus said from SNY. He said that Edgar Alonso, the third baseman, is a better defensive player than Carlos Correa. I doubt that very, very, very much. He doesn't even have the range of a third baseman. Edgar Alonso not even a third baseman. So to say that's an insult. But anyway, everybody has their own opinions. You have to respect that. Todd Zeus was an okay player. He wasn't all that great. He quit baseball to be an actor. Look how well that went. But he was a good analyst, but that analyst was wrong. So you could put Beatty. You could just leave Beatty at third base and watch him grow. And let him play. He's going to make his errors because look at the third baseman for the Philadelphia Phillies. He started weak. But the guy, the summer came in the second half, the kid at third base was a beast. Nothing went through him, and he has a cannon for an arm. So here we go with this saga. Where is this going to go? Is he going to go to Minnesota? Is he going to go to the Mets? I'm going to say 70% that he is going to be a Met. That diva in Carlos Correa is too much for him. I mean, he just loves the spotlight too much. And if he loves money too. So if the AAV is higher in Minnesota, he might take that and say, you know what, screw it, I'll play in Minnesota and stick with my family with the money out here. But I believe that he wants to be next to Lindor. He wants that spotlight. His woman wants a spotlight. His kid's going to grow up in New York. I mean, it's a city where the Spanish culture in New York is around. You go to Brooklyn, you go to the Bronx, you got Puerto Ricans, you got Dominicans, you go to Brooklyn, you got blacks, you got Hispanics. You go everywhere you go in New York, especially in those 5 boroughs, you have some sort of Spanish in there. So to see your own people go in and watch you play and see your own people put that Puerto Rican flag, that means a lot to a lot of people. That means a lot to a Hispanic. That means a lot to see your flag on a stadium that you go to. And we Puerto Ricans are proud of who we are, where we come from. So let's just see what happens. But another saga, another day in the Carlos Correa dilemma.